Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And wow, we got an absolutely wonderful show coming your way. We got this young lady that's going to talk to us about young ladies, especially Black girls, and how they are triumph in whatever mission that they are trying to accomplish. Sometimes it just takes a little push, a little courage, a little understanding, a little knowledge. But I tell you, I want to get the radio, television, all other live streaming mechanism locked in at the same time. So, uh, Todd, let's do it.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the James Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and to overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And Todd, can you hear me? Todd, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Man, we got such a wonderful show coming your way, our viewers' way, my way, everyone way. And
It's gonna be a great one. You previewed your guest for me, and I know it's gonna be a great one for our listeners, especially the Black girls.
It's gonna be a great one for our listeners, and I tell you, it's on our airways as well. On the radio, KCBQ AM 1170 ounce, FM 96.1, Transverse TV, E360 television, and YouTube, over 55 other live platforms. So. This is going to be a great one to put out there because I think the world needs to know about this. But I cannot even get started without bringing in the executive producer and the co-host, Dr. Michelle Cooley. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I am excited about this show. I mean, this is, a story about resilience and overcoming trials and tribulations and so much more. And we're just really excited about the guests that we have on the show today.
I'm excited about this guest. I talked to a couple of times, and, the first time I chatted with her, I knew that we had to get her on the show. So I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to that platform. Or you can pick up the phone and call in at the radio station at 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Michelle, can you please introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely magnificent guest?
Yes, most definitely. So the title of the show today is called Blackgirltriumph. And we're going to discuss with philanthropist, public speaker, and mentor Carolyn Ayers regarding this amazing film titled Blackgirltriumph and the backstory behind it. And we're going to discuss breaking free from pain and grief, living the life that God intended us to have. So let's talk about a little guest today. Again, she's a philanthropist, public speaker, and mentor with an undeniable passion for empowering women, men, young ladies, and young men. It is evident that she is a born leader. Miss Carolyn Ayers is the founder of Women of Distinction Outreach, a nonprofit organization. She's a published author who consults and mentors aspiring writers with their manuscripts through Reach the Press Publishing. For the past 10 years, she has been Lachey's Organizations LLC's underwriter, networking, community outreach, and motivating business women expos. She gives author showcases that expose authors and inspire authors across the globe. She has hosted conferences encouraging men and women and promoting entrepreneurship as she travels. She has diverse career experience as a dental scrub nurse, logistician, former DC notary, and paraprofessional, and she served in the United States Air Force. Her career spans 40 years, 32 years as a federal government employee, serving our nation's veterans. She's a native of New Orleans, Louisiana. So please welcome to the show, and she has more to tell you, Miss Carolyn Ayers.
Oh, thank you for that great introduction. I'm just so excited to be here, and I really truly appreciate you all for opening this door just to for me to share. I'm really excited about this.
Well, we're excited about having you on. I had your friend on quite a few times, and she speaks so highly of you. We're talking
Oh,
about Dr. Stacy.
yes, yes, that's my girl.
Yeah, so Carolyn, can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about you, where you grew up at, why you so passionate about the things that you are doing, so let's get started with that.
Well, I am from the Big Easy, which is New Orleans, Louisiana, and right now in New Orleans, they're getting ready for the Mardi Gras. So, if you haven't never been to New Orleans doing Mardi Gras, it's sort of like dropping the ball in New York. It's got 1 million people that's going to be there. So, if you ever thinking about it, it's a whole lot of fun. Visit New Orleans. That's where I'm from.
Yeah, so I been a long time since I've been to the Mardi Gras, but it is so much fun.
Yeah.
Just had such a wonderful time. So um, I always kind of throw a wrench in the conversations when I,
Okay.
because first segment is always introduction time.
Right.
So for the people that don't know you, if you had to choose one adjective to describe who you are,
That
what would that be and why?
determination. That's me. I don't give up. Once I put my mind to something, it might take a little time, it might take some money, might take some courage, but I'm not gonna give up. So that's me in a nutshell, determined.
And we have to be determined,
Yes,
and in order to, first of all, get the right mindset to be able to succeed at whatever we do.
exactly.
And we also have to be determined to allow us to let things flow in and out of our mind and us and our whole soul. Because
That's right.
if we believe in it, we're gonna fight for it to the best of our ability.
That's
Yes,
exactly right. You
but
cannot, I feel like you can't accomplish if you're gonna quit. So you gotta be determined.
it would be hard to accomplish almost anything if we're quitting.
That's right.
Because,
That's
but
right.
many people do. For the people out there that do not truly understand determine or determination, can you kind of break it down to them a little bit?
Well, just because something is challenging, like my daughter, tell me, it's not hard, it's a challenge. And because something is challenging, you shouldn't just give up. You should try to think about ways that you can overcome and accomplish your goal, whatever it is that you're setting out to do. And that's what I try to do in my life. I try to, you make these goals, and sometimes you don't have the funds, you don't have the means, but you have to be determined, that I'm going to find a way to make this happen. And so and that's how I live my life, just being determined.
And what goes along with that, if we have the mindset that failure is not an option.
That's right.
It's not even an option, because once you set your mind to whatever you are doing, you have to see it through.
That's exactly.
You got to see it through. So you came up with this title of the show is Black Girl Triumph. What
Yes.
does this mean? What does this mean to you? And what should our audience expect? Because we got about two minutes before the break. But after the break, we're gonna dive off into but can you talk about the title of the show?
Well, the title stems from my childhood, because that's the Black girl. And that's my whole concept to the film. And so this Black girl triumphed over her trials, over her adversity. And so that's how I came up with that title, Black Girl Triumph. It's about my life, and I overcame all of those hurdles. And so that's how I come about that name, Black Girl Triumph. And I, like I said, I want all the women to triumph, but I am a Black girl.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's a challenge depending on the environment, depending on the mindset, depending on a lot of different things out there. But we have to be just like Michelle just said right here. We are conquerors.
That's right. That's right. That's
Yes.
right. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, as a Black girl, not only in my personal life, but even in my career, it's a challenge. I mean, and as we've seen in this controversy on the social media about how the ceiling is set for Black women, it's a challenge, but we have to persevere and we have to be determined, and so, yes, we can overcome those challenges.
We can overcome those challenges, and regardless of what type of roadblocks that might get in our way, we have to be able to take a time out, step back.
That's right.
And figure out how we can get around those type of roadblocks. So I tell you, I'm loving this already, and we just started. So we gotta take a break, but I tell you what, whichever platform you're watching us on, if you just want to pick up the phone as well and dial 1-888-344-1170. But I tell you, you can try, you can be champions in anything you do. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with a lot more of Mrs. Carolyn. Remember, it's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Drawn to you. Speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I got this absolutely wonderful guest, Mrs. Carolyn Ayers, and we talking about the Blackgirltriumph. And we getting ready to get off into that. And we're going to share, talk about a film. Going to talk about why she created this great masterpiece. And if you want to be part of the conversation, whichever platform that you're on or watching us or listening, all you do is just go to that platform and ask any question or comment that you might have. Or pick up the phone and dial 1-888 344-1170 to answer. Miss Carolyn.
Hi.
We were talking a little bit about why you came up with the title Blackgirltriumph. But could you tell us a little bit about the film? Well, first of all, I want to show a quick clip, and then we're going to pick it up from there, okay?
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm trying to hide it from my family and not tell anybody, and being abused, even at work. He would come on my job and abuse me. So
I was going to be tested to make sure he was fine, and the technician's face went blank, and I said, "He's not here," and it was devastating.
I wanted my family and friends to think that I was living a good Christian life, but when I wasn't around them, I was out there doing whatever I wanted to do,
And it was a phone call specifically with my mother, and her telling me, when I asked her, "Mom, how do I get my own apartment? What do I do?" And her telling me, "You need to apply for your food stamps, your welfare, and your Section 8.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Ms. Carolyn, can you tell our audience, I know you touched on it a little bit about your past as a young lady growing up, and what are some of the trials and tribulations that you went through to lead you into creating this great film, and why it's so important for not just black women or black girls, but all women and all girls to understand?
Well, when I started out, I started out writing this script about my childhood, and that's really what started the film, is my childhood, my upbringing in a dysfunctional home with a father that was a drunk, and he abused my mother, knocked her down the steps, hit her in the head, bust her head open, beat her brutally, like she was a man. So that's what prompted me writing this film. But I invited, 10 or 12 women to be on this platform, but only these ladies, accepted my invitation, because I wanted it to be more, because all women have a story, all men have a story. We have stories. And I didn't want it to just be about my story. My story, like I said, it's more about my downfalls, my mistakes. But the reason I wrote the script and went into producing the film was about my childhood and how I hated my dad as a man, because of the abuse that he, because as a child, you can't say what family you're gonna, you can't say what parents you're gonna have, you're a child. And as a child growing up, I was in fear. I was afraid. I didn't know if my mom was gonna live the next day, I cried on many nights, and it made me pray a lot. Just being fearful of, not knowing, am I going to have my mom as a parent, and then I might have to live with this man who's always drinking and drunk, so I lived in a lot of fear as a child. So that's what prompted this film.
Wow. So was it difficult for you emotionally to do this film based on your experiences? I'm talking about sharing your life with the public and just being straight up with how this led to that. Was it? How did that make you feel initially to be able to share your story, knowing that potentially you're going to help many, 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 many other women out?
And that's what I'm hoping, it takes courage, and that's what when I extended the invitation to the ladies in my letter, I did express to them that it takes courage to tell the world about your downfalls, your mistakes, what you've been through, mistreatment, whatever it may be. It takes courage to put that out for the world to see or to hear. So I did express that. And then, when we were filming the documentary, it was a little nerve-wracking to be behind the camera telling my story. But I wanted to tell my story because, I wanted for other people to know that they can overcome whatever trial, whatever pain, whatever suffering, whatever adversity they've been through. They can overcome because Christ can help you. And I'm a living witness that he will bring you through any adversities, any pain, any suffering. And so that was my reason for sitting down, writing the script, getting it copyrighted, seeking producers to help me produce the film. It's a process, but I wanted to, be able to tell my story.
So, Ms. Carolyn, how has faith kept you going during the hard times, and also even now, knowing that you have to do this because God implanted in your heart that you have to share your story. But a lot of us be afraid, like, okay, people might not like who I am now. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, my mistakes, my downfalls is me. You can't undo that. So, and like the Bible tells us, the truth sets us free.
Absolutely.
So I just felt the need, especially because of the hate that I had for my father. And I wanted to be released, and I wanted to for sure have God forgive me. I didn't have the opportunity to tell that to my dad because he died at 49. And I was not living in New Orleans at the time. I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. And he passed away when I wasn't able to be by his hospital bed. So that was a burning desire to have God forgive me for hating him for the man that he was toward my mom. And so, that was the, underlining reason for me, pushing through to make this happen. Like I said, I'm determined. And I know that to do a documentary, it takes money. And, the production companies, I went through a lot. I talked to a lot. I talked to film schools. It takes money, but I still was determined that I was going to get this done. And God made a way. I just feel that I wanted to create a platform for other women to be able to have a safe space where they can release, heal, be restored from the pain that they've been through, So like I said, I opened the door for many that I invited, but the ladies that are on that clip that you just showed accepted that invitation, and I really am grateful.
Michelle. Wow. Mm. Wow, we had lost connectivity.
Through life's precious gift of time, just like I have. Hi, I'm Todd Pierick, the producer of The James Cooley Show. It's your life. And in the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, you can join James as he shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. This is a must listen for anyone who thinks they're stuck in life or needs to understand that their current situation is not their final destination. Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by Dr. James Cooley on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to
really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
I've seen a smile convey I love you. I'm proud of who you are. The one that keeps us close when we're apart. Walking from the darkness of all that we've been through. It seems that there might be a way behind the loneliness we've known and live again life of
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I tell you, we had a little technical difficulty. We lost complete power at my end. And Todd, thanks for picking up the slack, man. I knew you were gonna pick it up and say today.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Todd, what do you think about the show so far today?
Well, great show, great guest. I know she's been on before, and every time that she's been on, I think it's, she drops big knowledge bombs on us. So she's a great guest and a great show so far for our listeners, especially our women listeners.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want to pick it up. I forgot where we was at, Mrs. Carolyn, when we lost connectivity. But I think we were talking about your faith, what keeps you going, and why do you ask viewers to stop silence and break free?
Well, that's the slogan for, my part of the story, which is domestic violence. I just feel that women that are living in that situation right now, this moment, as we are on this show talking, that they need to not be silent. They need to tell someone. They need to let someone know that they are living in this uncomfortable environment. So many times they be afraid to tell their family, their friends, because they're ashamed or they don't want anyone to know. But truly, their life depends on them being open and telling someone, a clergy, a counselor, a friend, a family member, because truly their life depends on it. And so that's why I came up with this slogan, Stop the Silence. Because I did it. I was silent. I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell anyone. But but I realized that I had my kids and they were going through it, and many of the ladies out there may have children and some may not, but they shouldn't stay silent. And breaking free is for those that may be going through a loss or some other type of health issue or trauma, that they can break free from that, because Christ, he could take that pain, that hurt, he could heal any situation. And so I asked them to break free. And so that's the reason why I have those slogans, because I really wanted the platform, like I said, to be a multifaceted platform for women with different stories. We had those three ladies that joined me, and then I have a part 2 that's going to be filming in March with 3 more ladies that's going to accompany me. And but I just wanted to open the door for ladies to have a voice. But I truly, truly want to tell the ladies that are living right now today in a domestic violence situation that you need to stop being silent. Anyone that is in that type of situation needs to express it to someone.
Yeah, so Carolyn, what type of feedback have you gotten so far from your documentary? And if people wanted to watch this, what can they? How could they watch it? How could they get a hold of it?
Well, we have part 1. I did a VIP private showing in New Orleans for part 1 and 2. And it's now on my YouTube channel, Blackgirltriumph. And I'm traveling to Maryland to have a private VIP showing for part 3 and 4. And then that will be out on my YouTube channel once we have that private viewing, because I have the private viewing because I really want to speak to the ladies. I want them to speak to me and I speak to them. I want to have a conversation. I want us to engage, because it's really very, very, on my heart that I want to touch a life. I want to save a life. And I don't want it to just be about a film, about a movie. I want it to be about a person's life and them being free. And so that's why I have the VIP join, so that we can speak to the ladies. They can talk to us if they need help, if there's something that we can do for them, that we can be there for them, because we want them to know they're not alone.
So you get your viewers engaged after the film or prior to the film? How does that work?
Well, once we show the film, then we have open conversation, because we want them to tell us, what did they think about the film, what did they get from it, how did it help them, what could we do better, or what could we, if we able to expand this platform, what could we do better, So yeah, we open it up, and and each one of the ladies, like Lakeisha Smith was with me at the VIP showing in New Orleans, and Grace Ayers, my niece, who's going to be in the second half of the documentary. And we spoke to the ladies there in New Orleans, and it was very warm. It was very engaging. The ladies really talked to us and opened up, and I really enjoyed that, and that's what I was hoping for. And so that's why I'll go to Maryland and personally have a private VIP showing for part 3 and 4 and speak to the ladies.
Wow. How long is the film? How long is the documentary? I'm talking about per segment, so like hour and a half, or whatever.
I guess I haven't really timed it, but yes, I wanted the ladies to have their own little segment to tell their story. I know some documentaries it's like one long, but I wanted each lady to have their part, So each segment is timed different, because each lady's story is a little different, and some is a little shorter and some a little longer. But yeah.
I understand that. I think that's brilliant to do it, so you get them their personal, where they can share their portion of it.
That's right. Yes, and that's what I wanted. Yeah.
Reflecting on difficult times, what resilient strategies or coping mechanism have you found most effective in overcoming adversity?
Praying and reading my Bible. I told you, when I was a kid and going through that, living in a home that I didn't have a choice. That's where I was born. That's the family that I was born to. I learned how to pray and, read my Bible, even though I have to admit I strayed away from, my background as a young adult, because I got baptized at 8 years old. I was saved very young. But when I got to be a young adult, I strayed away. But praying and reading my Bible brought me through a lot of hurdles, a lot of tough times. Yes.
And when we talk about certain things and when we stray away and we have setbacks, and
yes,
all of these, we have failures, setbacks. How have having failures and setbacks contribute to your personal growth, and that makes you the best person that you can be, because you went through those things, you figured them out, and you was able to put all of these things together? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, going through all of those hurdles, it helped me to not be anxious, to be patient. Um, I know after Katrina, I had my mom, my mom was in New Orleans. I was living in Washington, D.C., working in Washington, D.C. at the time. But after Katrina, I had to bring my mom to D.C. with me. And so I became a caregiver. And being a caregiver, it helps you to be humble. It helps you to be caring. It helps you to be patient. And all of those trials and tribulations that I've been through, it helped me to not be anxious. Don't be anxious. Be patient. Talk to God and get direction from Him. Be patient. And that's what it taught me.
We have to be patient.
Yes. Yeah.
And we have to communicate. I'm not going to say we have to, but God is the answer for me. And
yes.
I can't do anything without.
No. I made a whole lot of mistakes by trying to do it my own way. And so it got me into a whole lot of trouble. But right now in my life, that's what I do. I try to be patient, don't be anxious, talk to the Lord and get directions from Him.
So how important is not just you, but anybody that's going through trials and tribulations and being able to overcome or completely stay in focus? How important is a support system, especially family, friends, and loved ones? How important is that for them to meet their goal? We got about 1 minute before the break.
Okay, well, like I said, being a caregiver is very important. My kids and my brother helped me to, care for my mom because, like I said, I was on the road ministering, giving conferences. So they helped, took care of her when I was out on the road. So having that support system is very important, very important.
It is totally important to have. I'll tell you what, we got to take a station break.
Okay.
This is so great. And I know that our viewers out there are getting a whole lot from just listening and watching you, Miss Carolyn. I know I am. So, again, whichever platform you all are watching this on, if you just want to pick up the phone, call the radio station. My main man, Toddy, is there. That's 1-888-344-1170. So we can take a station break, but we're going to come back and with some more of Miss Carolyn. Yes, your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley. The JC
to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and just really enjoying this conversation. And I tell you, it's a lot of great things that we talk about adversity in the last segment. When we talked about failure, I believe, Miss Carolyn, that the only way that you can truly get up after you know fell down, failed at something, and get back on path, get back on target. I believe that our great Lord and Savior, part of my world, that's the answer. And I believe that's having a champion mindset that you can do anything, regardless of what the situation or circumstance, even when it look impossible.
Yes.
You mentioned at the beginning the adjective that you best describe you was determination. Determination, and you know that's what we have to have. And you know, so my question to you is, how do you cultivate a positive mindset and maintain hopeful perspective, especially when facing significant challenges? For people out there that are trying to figure that out, what would you tell them?
Like I said, we're all going to have challenges in life. That's just living life, but if you have a difficult situation, as me, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and he said to bring all our burdens, all our cares to him. So if you have a situation and you feel like you don't know how to deal with it or what to do or how, you could change it, go to him in prayer. He will definitely guide you and lead you. I'm a living witness of that because he's brought me through some difficult times and brought me to this point in my life where truly I'm enjoying life. And only because of him, so I would tell anyone, life is going to be life, and all, we're going to go through ups and downs, and that's just a part of being alive and living. But if we will just take that time and have a little talk with Jesus, I know he'll make everything all right.
I think you make everything all right. Always.
Yes.
Even when, just like I mentioned a second ago, even when we think there's no way,
That's
but
right.
we have a lot of folks out there. I mean, all of us are kind of stubborn at times, especially men, a lot of women as well, that they don't know when they're in certain situations or circumstances, and or they don't believe that they need to seek help, therapy, or profession, some other type of professional help or counseling. What would you tell them? When is that time, and how can they benefit from it? Because a lot of, they can't tell me nothing. I'm not. I know everything. What
But
do you?
I think that, we as Black people, we don't believe in counseling. That's kind of like something that our um, we just didn't believe in that. But I truly believe that going to counseling and talking to a therapist, it's a release because you're able to hear. Because when you talking to them, you're talking out loud. So you're hearing what is what is locked inside that's bothering you. You're able to hear it. So that's a help in itself, and so, because most of the time when people are going through things that are painful or hurtful or whatever, they keep it locked inside. It's locked in there. It's in their heart, it's in their mind, in their brain, but they don't bring it outward. And so when you sitting across from a therapist or a counselor or even a preacher or and his wife or whatever that you are counseling with, you opening up and you're talking and you're hearing it. So you are able to hear what you're saying. So this is a help, it's a release for you. So I think that that is very good, and I think that You need to do that more. You know, that's something that my kids kind of told me about with my dad, you know, that situation and how I felt about him and talking about it. So I did. I talked to a counselor and I was able, like I say, you open up because you keep this stuff buried inside of you. And so being able to talk to someone, being able to talk to a therapist or whoever it may be, it's very helpful. And I encourage it. You know, we have so many young people today that not contemplating but committing suicide because they keep everything bottled up and locked inside, and they need to bring it out. They need to talk about it. So it's very helpful.
I think they really need to talk about it. Mrs. Carolyn, this has been such a fantastic show. We're down to what I call a lightning round because we got like 3 minutes left in the show. And I wanted just so these are real quick answers.
Okay.
Got about 3, maybe 4 that we want to do. We're gonna start off with Mrs. Carolyn. What would you like for your legacy to be? Your kids, your grandkids. What would you want them to know about you that should be a part of their legacy?
That I lived a life to encourage and touch lives. If they can just remember that I was on this earth and that was my purpose, to touch a life. And I hope that I can leave that legacy behind me, that I lived a life touching a life. And that's what I want to leave behind.
Well, you took the second question. You answered that because that was going to be what was your purpose, and that was the way you tied that together was so fantastic. What are some takeaways that you want our viewers and listeners to get from this great discussion that we had?
Now for the ladies, like I mean, it's in my heart because this is something I experienced. But for the ladies that are living in domestic violence, I want them to take these 3 takeaways, these 3 key things. Number 1, I want them to speak up and not be silent. Number 2, I want them to be very strategic about exiting this domestic situation because we say violent, domestic violence. So they have to be very strategic about exiting. And once they have made that plan and they exit that situation, I want them not to look back. I want them to look forward.
Always looking forward.
Yes, look forward. Yes. And for those, like I said, the ones that are breaking free, I want them to know that God will heal every pain, every hurt, every sorrow. God will heal them. I want them to remember that.
Amen. Did you see Dr. Stacy Bullard say, "You touched minds and I got back on track to fulfilling my purpose." So.
But Stacy, she's just awesome. I just love her. I told her I'm so proud of her. I'm so very proud of the work that she's doing. You know, she made me proud, very proud. She told me she was going to California and she went up there and she did her thing, and I'm so proud of her.
Well, I'm so proud of her, and I'm so thankful that you took the time to come on the show today. So I just want to thank you for sharing this great testimony, and I can't wait till we all get an opportunity to watch that film of yours. So really gonna push.
I hope so. I mean, it's our story, you know. Like I said, everybody has a story, you know. It's just about if you're willing to tell your story, you know. Do you have that courage enough to put it out there for the world to hear and to see, you know? So.
Wow. So we're out of time right now, but you know, I just like what you just ended on. I call it the 4 C's: create, collaborate, commit with confidence, and having the courage to, you know, go out and make great things happen. And go out and just be obedient and go out and understanding that when you need help, you sometime have to reach out and
That's right. That's
being
right.
stuck. You know, so I want to thank you so much. You got I forgot her name, Baliko B. Wonderful show. Thank you, Miss Carolyn, for always walking in obedience and taking me on the journey. I mean, it seems like I'm just looking at these
Yeah,
notes.
Felicia is one of the ladies on the documentary. Yes.
So we got to get you back on again, Miss Carolyn.
Oh, I'll be happy to. I'll be happy to. But I'm just so grateful to you and your wife for opening the doors, you know, and I hope that your audience will take that. It's very serious about domestic violence and about grief and about living, because you're worth it. You're worth being alive and walking in your purpose.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to come on the show. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. I'd like to thank my studio, KCBC, and FM 96.1. But most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Remember to always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow. Same place. It's your life. We'll see you then.
Thanks for joining us for the James Cooley Show. It's your life. To learn more about Dr. James Cooley and how you can support the show or become a guest, visit Cooley.com.